If you're happy and you know it, does it show on your face? If you're happy and you know it right now, will you be happy in an hour's time? Will you be happy tomorrow? Will you be happy next year? And if we're very privileged and we've got lots of years, will you be happy for all the rest of the years of your life? And it's a bit of an airy-fairy question. Most people don't want to talk about it. Most people share with me that you can't be happy all the time. And my answer is always the same. What if you could be? What if you had the chemistry in your brain every day, all day, the happy chemicals that make you feel satisfied, rewarded, love your life, pain-killing, happy drugs? Can you put those into your body every single day, into your brain every single day, so that you can be happy every day? And again, this is a really confrontational question because we live in a world now where antidepressants, poor mental health, unhappy people, grumpy, angry, criticizing, negative people have not just become a normal, it just seems that it's getting worse and worse. And you only have to look at the drug statistics for mind-altering depression drugs, whereas the side effect is suicidal tendencies, which always never ceases to amaze me. That people would not even read the side effect sheet before they put a mind-altering drug into their body, but that's a very personal thing. I'm just asking, if you were ever asked to take a drug like that, would it be a good idea to read what the side effects are? And I'm sharing that with you, and I'm in my kitchen for a reason. When I was a personal exercise coach for over 30 years of my life, so one-on-one coaching with people to help them to be healthy, to be fit, to be strong, to be able to achieve their goals, whether they were personal or career goals or sporting goals, I worked with a very large number of people that would have what we would diagnose as an eating disorder. So they had a horrible relationship with themselves, which played out in their relationship with food. So most of my clients were people, and predominantly women, sadly, who were either anorexic, so they didn't want to eat anything. Even if they did eat, they didn't want to, and they felt guilty if they did. They were bulimic, so they would eat a stack of food, ridiculously large amounts of food, and they would share with me what they had eaten, and then they would either try to throw it up, or they would throw it up, or they would try and poo it out with laxatives, or they would become exercise bulimic, which is eat and then exercise and exercise and exercise and exercise and exercise fanatically to try and burn off those calories. And then the reverse end, which people think is the opposite end of the scale, but the same headspace, which was obese people, morbidly obese people, where all of those people, food is controlling their life. And that's why I'm coming to you from the kitchen. Because what a horrible way to live. Why would you want to live where food is controlling your life? So every time food's in front of you, or even if you think about food, you have a horrible war going on in your head about, can I have it, should I have it, can't have it, mustn't have it, how many calories has it got, how many fat grams, how long will I have to exercise to burn it off, how many times will I have to vomit to get it out, how many times will I have to go to the bathroom and poo to get it out of my body. I'm sharing this with you because these are things that my clients would share with me. Very privileged. I feel very privileged and honoured that people were so honest with me. But my question is never about the cure, because I don't know how to cure any of those things. My question is always about prevention. What got you there in the first place? Why are you so unhappy? I have in my life right now some people who spend multiple days in bed, whether it's 1 or 2 days. And one case is a person who's been in and out of just staying in bed for the last 3 years of their life. So 6 months, don't get up. 2 months, don't get up. 1 month, don't get up. They just don't get up. They hate their life so much. They're so unhappy that they don't want to live their life. They want to stay in bed and they watch social media and television and be miserable. My question is always, and again, I know this is a very confrontational topic, but I'm an old lady who wants people to be happy. And I'm so privileged because I've lived my life as a happy person. But here's why. My father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I can't remember how old I was, but I wasn't very old. I'd been an exercise professional for a few years. I didn't have a lot of education about anatomy and physiology, but I did know that the human body regenerates itself, every cell in your body. So when they told me that my father was going to die because his brain cells were rotting away and they couldn't be replaced, so he was going to die of a rotting brain, none of that made sense to me. why can't you replace your brain cells? And I'm sharing that with you because that started my journey of not just studying how to be healthy, fit and strong physically, but I started studying the brain, neuroscience, the endocrine system, which of course starts in the brain, the central nervous system, the way the brain works. And it's been my driving force every day since my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Why does the brain rot away? Why do we have mental health challenges? Why do people get eating disorders where they don't want to eat their food or they want to throw it up? Why do people get addicted to gambling or drugs or smoking, drinking? I wanted to know. It's been my driving force for education all of my life. And because of that, there's two reasons. One is that when they told me my father was going to die, they also told me that I was going to die of Alzheimer's because it was a genetic challenge, and most families where there's Alzheimer's in the family, the other people in the family died of Alzheimer's. Well, I just said there's no way that's going to happen. I'm not letting my brain rot away. And all I can share with passion and enthusiasm, and I'm not asking you to believe me, all I'm asking you to do, if you want to be healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, if you want to be lean, if you want to be strong, if you want to be powerful, if you want to be good at your sport, if you want to be good at your job, if you don't want to get depression ever, if you don't want to get coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, you don't ever want to be morbidly obese or overweight, if you want to have healthy kids, if you want to have a healthy pregnancy, if you want to have a healthy menopause, why would you rely on other people's opinions? Why wouldn't you work that out, find that out for yourself? Because so many people that I work with on a daily basis, and I know this because they've taken me with them to the medical professional that they believe. So they'll go to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, an oncologist, a cardiologist, an orthopedic surgeon, and they get diagnosed. Well, there's two parts to that. Every diagnosis surely deserves a second opinion because all the doctors disagree. And I can share that with you again because I'm an old lady with years and years of experience of going to medical practitioners, medical professionals with my clients who they disagree. One doctor says do this and the other doctor says if you do that, you're going to die early. Which one do you believe? And it's not about, because he's the better looking one or she's the one with more medical degrees or she's got more experience or they're just better doctors. What if you learn for yourself how your own human body works? So if you've been diagnosed with a brain challenge, so some kind of ADD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, the horrible things that happen to the brain, and we just wrap it up now, don't we? And we call it mental health. Well, isn't that what we want to have, mental health? Most people use that as a derogatory term, don't they? I've got mental health. Well, I would like to say, isn't that awesome that you've got mental health? You are mentally healthy. That would be awesome. But not you are or you aren't. But if you're not, how did that happen? Why did that happen? So you can stop it from happening again. Now, this is my very personal bugbear and a very controversial thing to say. We have some magnificently smart, intelligent, wise, awesome doctors in the world, medical professionals. And I've had the privilege of talking to a lot of them. And they will share with, maybe they won't share with you, but they certainly share with me, that they have to waste a lot of time on people who do not have to be in hospital, do not have to be in the doctor's office. Because depending on who you talk to, about 80% of the killing diseases in the world right now, coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, obesity, 80% of cancers, Alzheimer's, dementia, are caused by our lifestyle. They are now considered to be lifestyle diseases. So 8 out of 10 people don't have to be in hospital, don't have to be in the doctor's office, and don't have to be wasting a medical specialist's time. Now that's not my quote. The medical specialists that will share with me, and they do, most of my patients, Rowie, waste my time because if they were fit and if they were strong and if they ate half decent food that isn't wrapped up in a packet, a bag, and isn't highly processed, they wouldn't be in my office. They wouldn't have coronary heart disease, they wouldn't have type 2 diabetes, they wouldn't be depressed, they wouldn't be overweight, they would be living their life as a healthy, happy human being. I know this is tough, but this is reality. All of that is a choice. Every meal you've ever eaten, you were there. Everything you put into your mouth, you get to choose what you're going to eat. This is a personal adult decision. Isn't that awesome? Everything you do with your body, whether it's smoking or drinking or taking drugs or having a shower or brushing your teeth or lifting heavy weights or getting puffed or sleeping deeply, having a sauna, going to the gym, all of those things are all choices that humans make. And some of them have really great consequences and they help you live longer and stronger and fitter and healthier. And some of them have horrible consequences. The interesting thing though, and I'm going to go back to happiness, the driving force is we seem to want to be happy. And that's where the psychiatry comes in, the brain chemistry, the neurochemistry, is that the production of brain happiness, I can't put it any other way. And remember, I've been studying this for a very long time, which is dopamine, reward neurotransmitter, serotonin, which is a satisfaction neurotransmitter. Brain-derived neurotropic factor is the awesome one because that's the fertilizer for your brain, which makes everything work better. Endorphins, which are happy neurotransmitters, which are also painkillers. All of those things we can produce ourselves. We don't have to take a drug for those. We don't have to go shopping. We don't have to gamble. We don't have to smoke. We don't have to cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, all the things that people get addicted to try and produce a dopamine rush or a serotonin rush. The serotonin one's interesting because that's the pharmaceutical connection. Most antidepressants are supposedly, they talk about a lack of balance of serotonin in your brain. But when you're fit and when you're healthy and you've got a healthy brain and a healthy endocrine system, the hormones in your body are working effectively, you can produce all of those happy drugs by yourself. Now, you don't have to believe me, and please don't. What I would love you to do is learn for yourself. So rather than trust a doctor, trust a psychiatrist, trust an oncologist, trust a so-called expert, and the reason I'm not being disrespectful, what I'm sharing with you is that those people disagree with each other. One doctor will say, I'm going to say it again, one doctor will say, if you do this, you'll live a long time, and the other doctor will say, if you do that, you're going to die early. Which one do you believe? You can't believe any of them. Isn't it more important? And I'm going to use a really interesting and random analogy. Two of my favourite Formula One drivers, car racers, Niki Lauda and Michael Schumacher. Now, I'm obviously an old lady. These are drivers from the past. But when you study Formula One, which I have, because I just think it's really awesome that there's only 20 people in the world out of 8 billion that get to drive Formula One. So you've got to be pretty bloody good at driving because there's a lot of drivers in the world. Those two drivers in particular are known for the same thing. They are known for knowing the car better than the mechanics. They studied the car, they learnt about the car. They, yes, of course, had to drive the car, but that was the point. I'm not going to trust, I've got to drive that car at 300-400 kilometres an hour. I'm not going to trust that the mechanic knows what they're doing. I'm going to check that the car's working properly, and I'm going to learn how the car works so that when I'm driving that thing at 350 kilometres an hour, 400 kilometres an hour, I know that it's a safe car because I've checked it over because I understand how the car works. It's a very simple analogy, of course. Yes, there are great doctors in the world, but why would you trust your body with somebody else? Even their knowledge. I get there's great doctors, but why not, if you've got challenges with your concentration or anxiety or depression or focus or you're not feeling happy, why would you trust that to a pharmaceutical drug or to a specialist? Why not learn how your brain works? That's what I did. Your father's going to die of Alzheimer's, you're going to die of Alzheimer's, so that's it. And I just wouldn't accept that. So I started studying the brain. And what's really awesome is neurogenesis is a thing. You can drop off ugly old brain cells and grow new ones. No one's going to dispute that anymore. That's a thing. Neuroplasticity is changing the way the brain thinks, changing your brain. And you can do that without pharmaceutical drugs. You can do that without a medical specialist. If you're really fit and you're really strong and you're getting puffed on a regular basis, you're challenging your body on a regular basis with words to a song, patterns and katas in martial arts, new dance steps, meeting new people, going new places, and most importantly, getting really puffed and lifting really heavy, because that's the fight and flight system that produces dopamine. That's the first part of fight and flight is you've got to get you're stressed, so your body's going to produce adrenaline, epinephrine, cortisol, and when those have been dispersed because you've fought or you've flighted, you got the hell out of there, your body then produces dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, endorphins, serotonin if you ran away with your family. They're not disputed. No one's going to argue any of that. Fight and flight, I think I learned in high school. If you get stressed, your body will look after you. But if you get stressed and you don't disperse the stress by fighting or flighting, you will now get chronic disease. And that's where cancer comes from. That's where cardiovascular disease comes from. That's where we have type 2 diabetes is the most horrible disease in the world, because that's amputations, erectile dysfunction, kidney transplants, blindness, and they're all, again, I'll share, lifestyle diseases. So I'm standing here in my kitchen, happy lady with a happy life, having worked with lots of unhappy people that I don't think need to be unhappy. But that's a choice. Isn't it awesome that we get to choose? My dogs that you'll often hear barking, they run on instinct. They don't have a choice. They just do what dogs do. If you're a tree, it's even worse because you don't get to run around. You're rooted in the ground. But you're a human. You get to choose to be healthy, fit and strong, to have a career or business that you love, to be financially free, to have great people in your life. And my suggestion, for what it's worth as an old lady, is it possible that if you've got all those things going, you'll probably be bloody happy. You can sing like I do every day. Happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you really ought to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Woohoo! Live your life, do the math.